What if I told you that there are some numbers you need to know before you start eating your DNA based on your DNA results? It's true. There are 5 tests and one little extra one that will help you know whether or not when you're eating your DNA, if it's working. A test that you need to take now before you even start eating your DNA so that you'll know down the line how well it's actually working. If you're interested in finding out what those 5+1 tests are, stay tuned. So in order to eat your DNA, you have to get your DNA done. Okay, that makes sense. But I'm telling you that if you have some extra information at your disposal, you'll be able to tell whether or not or how well eating your DNA is working. So what my recommendation is, once you order your DNA test, and you can look below, look at step 1 that tells you some of the companies that I recommend, and you can even maybe get a discount. While you're waiting for your results to come in or the test to be mailed to you, you can contact your doctor and say, hey, doc, I'd like to take these 5 tests. I want to know this information. And your doctor will probably be absolutely pleased as punch that you're interested in finding out this information. And I also want to add that it doesn't matter, some of you might be watching this and have, you're not getting your DNA test done and you're not interested in that. These 5 tests are important for everyone. These are the numbers that everyone, I believe, should know. Now, once again, here's my disclaimer. I am not a physician, but I know that having a good understanding of your general overall health by knowing what these numbers are will help you and will provide you with some valuable information, not only for this particular eating plan, but any eating plan or exercise plan or anything else that you're doing. You want to know if it's working. You want to know if, I started doing this or I started doing that. Is it working or not? Once again, I'm not a doctor. Talk to your doctor about any new plans that you're starting and any new things that you're doing health-wise. But I think this is a great place to start. Also, I will say this, I'm going to be referring back over here to my computer because I'm going to be reading some definitions of what these different tests are and why they're important. But just know that you don't have to write any of this down. I have a 1-pager, which is actually about 3 pages, but you only need to print 1, that has all of this information for you on my website. Just go to eatyourdna.com and just join the email list and you get that immediately. That's the first thing you're going to get, and you'll be able to have the definitions and a place to write down your results. Okay, so let's get started. The first test that you're going to want to take is your A1C. So let me explain exactly what an A1C test is and what it's about. Okay, here we go. Let's see here. This is a definition from the Mayo Clinic. The A1C test is a common blood test used to diagnose type 1 and type 2 diabetes. There's different names for it, but it's basically, if you ask your doctor, say, I want to get my A1C done, your doctor will know. And what it does is it measures the percentage of hemoglobin in your blood that are coated with sugar. And the thing that's great about this is the A1C test is over like the last 2 to 3 months. So it gives you a general idea of your blood sugar control. The higher A1C level, the poorer your blood sugar control and the higher your risk of diabetes and complications. So this is a test if you have diabetes or even pre-diabetes, you're probably very familiar with getting your A1C test. That's the first one. The second one, most of us have heard of this one, is you want to know what your cholesterol is. You do not want high cholesterol. You want your cholesterol to be managed. Let me read the definition of cholesterol. It comes from 2 sources, and it's a waxy substance that's not inherently bad. I didn't know that. Your body needs it, but too much cholesterol can pose a problem. The problem is that cholesterol can join with other substances to form a thick, hard deposit on the inside of your arteries. You do not want your arteries to be clogged with cholesterol. This can narrow the arteries and make them less flexible, and that's called atherosclerosis. And if a blood clot forms and blocks one of these narrowed arteries, a heart attack or stroke can result. So that's the second test you're going to ask for. You're going to say, doc, I really want to know what my cholesterol is. And your doctor's going to say, great, let's go find out. Test number 3 is blood pressure. We've all heard of that. And the blood pressure is basically just the force of the blood going through your arteries. And so, there's normal blood pressure, but you do not want your blood pressure to be high. And if you're thinking, arteries, I wonder if this has anything to do with the cholesterol. Yes, the two are related, and you want to know what your blood pressure is. Test number 3 that you're going to ask your doctor for is BMI. Now, the BMI is your body mass index, and it's basically the person's weight divided by your square height. So a high BMI can indicate high body fatness, and a lower BMI can indicate lower body fatness. And this is the one where you see those charts that say, someone is, overweight or obese or super obese. That's this chart. Now, I think sometimes we get too caught up on exactly where we are on there, and if we're at one level or another level. The idea is you just want to know your range. You just want to have a general idea of where you fall on the range. So, you just want to kind of know, where your body mass index is on a general, in general, but not necessarily be too tied into the exact number. Okay, and then test number 5 is just your body weight. How much do you weigh? So if you have a scale, you can jump on your scale. You can use the scale at your doctor's office, which I hate more than any of them. I don't know what they do with those things, but that's your test number 4 is just your body weight. So, you could actually just get the 4 tests, ordered from your doctor, and then just jump on your scale and just fill out the information on your one pager you're going to download from me. Or you can do that at the doctor's office as well. So those are the 5 tests. Those are the 5 numbers. That's the hard data that I'm suggesting that you get before you start eating your DNA and you're waiting for your DNA results to come back. But there is one more. I said there was a bonus, so I guess maybe I should just say it's 6. But there's one more. And the thing about this one that's so great is that it's based on you. Nobody else in the world can answer this. You don't need anybody else to give you any of this information. You don't have to, take another test. It's you just sitting down with a piece of paper and writing out, how do I feel right now? How do I feel in general? Do I have energy? Can I focus? How am I sleeping? What do I feel like? When I did this a few months ago, the word I wrote down, and maybe I made this word up, was crunchity. I felt crunchity. I felt like my bones just were crickety and crackety. I felt like I was sore all the time. I just did not feel like I was smooth and light on my feet. So, when you're writing this down, take your time and really think about, how do you feel? The older you get, sometimes it's hard to remember what it's like when you were younger and you just had a lot of energy and you could just, go all day. And when you went to sleep at night, you could be tired, but you weren't really exhausted. But, try to think, like, how do you feel when you fall into bed at night? Are you falling into bed because you had a great day and you're tired but you feel good? Or are you falling into bed like you're passing out because you're just absolutely exhausted? You need to write all that down right now. And can you sleep through the night, or do you wake up in the middle of the night? All the little things about how you feel. Because when you start eating your DNA, and I think all of these things are going to improve, you're going to look back and be like, oh my gosh. Oh, I remember back before I started eating my DNA when I couldn't I couldn't sleep through the night, or all my muscles were sore all the time, or I could barely walk up the stairs, or I couldn't focus after 3:00 in the afternoon. But you got to have that information in front of you, because trust me, you'll forget if you don't write it down. So there are the 5 tests, the 5, hard data numbers. And then there's this one thing that I want you to think about and write out, so that when you're waiting for your results to come back, you'll be ready. You're going to get your DNA results. You're going to see where you're from, or you're going to find out the foods that are the best foods for you. Look down below. I have it all written out: step 1, step 2, and step 3. And then you'll be able to really, really, have the information you need to see how much your health is improving and how much better you feel. Because that's the whole point of this whole thing, is that we feel better, that we have more energy to do the things that we want to do. And that, that's different for all of us. Some of us, you just want to have energy to, make it through the day and not be exhausted, or maybe start a new business, or start a new sport, or enjoy the sports or the things that you used to do, or keep up with your kids. I don't know what it is, but I feel like all of us, we want to have energy and be healthy and live as long as we can and enjoy ourselves. And these 5 tests and eating your DNA are going to help you feel better, so that when you look at number 6, you'll be able to say, it's true, I do feel better. 6 months ago, I could barely make it through the day. I couldn't focus. I had no energy, and look at me now, right? Okay, so once again, I'm going to say my disclaimer. I am not a doctor. I am not a physician. These are the things that I recommend. But whenever you're doing anything and changing anything with your health, medicine or diet or exercise, you should talk to your doctor first. So that's another reason why these tests are good, because they're going to get you in there talking to your doctor and explaining what you're doing and what you're thinking. And you're not relying on Angela with Eat Your DNA, but you're going to rely on your own doctor and your own data and what's going on in your own body. So thank you once again, and I look forward to seeing and hearing about your results. And remember, everything you need is down below, all the steps and all the links. And remember, eat your DNA.